Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in. This is the Birds of a Feather podcast with your boy Q
Your
City.
boy Taj Bravado.
And this is episode 40. Fan of a fan on some Chris Brown Tyga type stuff. You understand me? So we're about to look at last week's game versus Carolina. We're going to look at next week's game versus the Colts. We're going to check out what's going on in division, really dive into our playoff chances there, and then some city talk at the end. So come along with us. Enjoy this ride. So, Taj, my man, we had one of the most disgusting losses I've ever been a part of in this 9-7 loss versus Carolina. So you look at it, the offense pretty much non-existent throughout the day. Ritter 12 of 20 for 152. Algier and Bijan combined for 56 yards. Bijan had a fumble. Neither of the receivers really got involved like that. Defensively, the team allowed 9 points.
Yeah.
9 points defensively, and special teams wasn't really a facet for the game because Koo never saw the field. He made the extra point that you're supposed to, and it was really a field position type of game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't feel like our punt returners put us in a bad spot. It truly just came down to poor execution. I can't even call it bad coaching. It was just bad decisions by our players, man. Tell me what you thought about the game.
Sloppy. But I expected it to look a lot like that Jets game, due to the elements. But I expected more from the offense though. Like
No, we both were talking. So I said 27-7. You said 31-0. We both had the mindset that Carolina wasn't going to score much. And by definition, they didn't.
yeah.
Carolina scored 9 points and won this game. That is
Yeah.
it's disgusting. It's disrespectful on so many levels,
It's very disgusting because
right?
I'm seeing across various social medias that people are blaming the defense. Let me read it. Y'all are blaming the people that gave up 3 field goals
Three.
to the offense that can
Three.
only score 1 touchdown. But it's the defense fault.
Now, I get what you're saying. That last drive was it 80 something yards, 84
That
yards?
just chalked up to attrition.
84 yards, 6 minute drive, multiple times to stop him. It is what I said. It's just like, bro, you can only ask your defense to do so
No,
much.
it's
You
attrition.
can only
They
ask your
tired.
defense to do so much.
They on the field because your offense can't get shit going. So it's like it's just basically a battle of which defense get tired first, and our defense got tired, and they
Now,
still didn't give up a
if you
touchdown.
wanna, yeah, still, if you want to blame the defense, blame them for missing on two fumbles. One was special teams, so I can't even really put them on it. But like the difference that I saw in this game was the turnover margin, right? And it's just balls bouncing our way and balls not bouncing our way. So uh the Panthers mishandled a punt return, right?
Mhm.
Punt return falls right on it. Bijan gets a peanut punch, gets the ball knocked out, bounces right in Carolina's hand. Then we get a sack fumble on Bryce Young. Ball comes out, Bryce is able to fall right back on it. Ritter, untimely interception. We had like two balls I can count that hit our DBs in the hands. Hit them in the hands, bro. Not DBs. One was a linebacker, one was a DB. Hit them in the hands. So
No,
I can't I can't really I could say that our defense didn't capitalize on the opportunities, but I
yeah,
can't blame it. You can't blame a
you
defense
can't
that
blame
gives
it.
up three
The
field
thing
goals.
is, I think the defense is absolved from any blame. Um, when it comes to the offense, there's not any one particular person you can blame. It's easy to blame Ritter because he threw their pick at that time, but the we were down.
What was he looking at?
Okay, so
What was he looking at, man?
watching the film back, he was looking at Desmond. He was looking at Drake, but
He was looking in the mirror.
that's what he needed to do. But he was looking at Drake, but I think that he wasn't able to get enough on the ball, and it kind of just either it slipped or he wasn't able to let it go when he wanted. But he was staring at Drake when he was throwing the ball, and it just went literally left.
I mean, that could be that no look pass shit he's trying to do.
No, I don't think.
Was listening to one of the,
I don't.
I was listening to one of the bloggers. So I usually do my tape review on Tuesday. So I was listening to one of the bloggers, and he was saying that the route concept in that point had every like it was a bootleg type action.
Everyone was
I
on
was like,
there.
it wasn't
It
bootleg.
was bootleg.
It
Well,
wasn't bootleg though.
no, it was. 'Cause,
No, he spun out of
well,
it.
yeah, but it was like
He's
everyone was in that one
so the
little
concept
area.
was going left. Yeah, the concept was going left. He spun out of pressure, right? So that's why sometimes when you listen to people, you gotta take it with a grain of salt because like when the dude was like, "Oh, that was bootleg action," I was like, "Hold on, nah, it really wasn't."
Yeah,
Like it was
I guess it
the
appeared
play
that
was
way.
flowing
Yeah,
left.
but
Yeah, the play was flowing left, and he spun out of pressure. So my thinking is like when you spin out of pressure, the route concepts shift, right? So at that point in time, I'm just working to get open, running out of real estate. If that's the case, the play should be throwing toward the sideline, not back into the action.
I'm not
My
so
thoughts.
I'm not so sure about that because it's like
No, that's just my
because the
thoughts. That's
thing
just my
is
thoughts on
like
it.
either way it goes, they were all gonna be on that side of the field anyway.
Yeah, so you
So
throw toward the sideline, and if your guy doesn't get it, it's out of
no, but
bounds
see if you
because you're still in position
no
to make a
no,
field
but see
goal.
I could see what he was trying to do because Drake was wide open. He was just sitting there wide open. I think he was really trying to get it to Drake. I just think he might have lost the grip because you got to remember, it's the ball.
It's
Yeah,
raining. Yeah.
so I think that ball just literally got away from him. Still a terrible
So
throw. I'm not absolving him from anything, but I think that ball really just got away from him. I mean, it happens
like
to
I
the
said,
best of them.
I do. I got
But
wife and kids and all that, so I don't do my film review till Tuesday. So
yeah,
I can't, definitively say what I'm seeing or not seeing there.
no,
But
you
just
could.
my
They showed his eyes. He was looking at Drake.
yeah, it just the ball didn't get there.
yes,
I think what makes it so disgusting, what makes it hard is the fact that your defense didn't allow a touchdown, which means the game at that point is 7-6. If you dirt it, if you take a sack in that situation, if anything happens other than a turnover, you're looking at 10-6, and you're forcing Carolina off a kickoff to travel the length of the field.
okay, there you go. Yeah, but I mean, that game came down to much more than just that, though. Like, oh, okay. The game came down to the
You hear that noise in the
yeah.
background?
I thought I was my
Yeah, no, that's fine.
yeah. So
No, no, no.
the game came down to much more than that. Because you also got factor in we were down with through two or three linemen. No,
Yeah,
two
yeah.
down at center and our starting right tackle. Um, and Carolina already gave us a whole lot of issues when we had all of our starters the first time around. So we weren't able to really get any run game going because they just wouldn't allowing shit up the middle. Um, Storm Norton wasn't really able to get anything around the edge, so it's like the run game was non-existent. Like your number 8 draft pick had 7 carries for 11 yards.
I wouldn't even say it was a terrible day. It was just like there was no room because Algier, he had, I want to say he had 45 yards, but on the drive that ended with the Ritter pick, he had like 20 yards on that
Yeah,
drive. You know what I'm saying? Over the majority of the course of the day, he didn't do anything either.
yeah. So it was
Patterson didn't get going. You had the one big one to
with John talking about the
what's
pass
his name?
to
Yeah, when he
John.
didn't score.
Yeah,
Yeah, to G.N.O.M.E, where he didn't score. You didn't get London involved at all
to the
outside
fourth
of one
quarter. Yeah.
drive. You had one drive, and then he had two catches for 24 yards, only three targets on the day. This is the so let's get into it, bro. Let's get into it because it is what everybody want to talk about, and it's going to be the majority of our conversation. Does Arthur Smith need to go?
No,
And my thinking on it. If you didn't fire him after the Washington game, you were signed, sealed, and delivered for him to finish the season out. At this point in time, it's redundant to fire him. Like it doesn't make sense to get rid of him at this point in time. And then like I wanna take you through some of his contemporaries, right? That were hired same year as him, right? Brandon Staley fired. Robert Saleh, what's going on with him?
I mean,
Could be out,
you spend all
but
that money for a quarterback and assets and all of that, and
inability to develop a quarterback has bought him another year, right? Inability to develop a quarterback has bought him another year. You got Arthur Smith. Your inability, like everybody kind of gave you a mulligan year that first year with
but
Ryan,
really good the first
right?
2 years.
And then the second year, okay, you have Marcus Mariota. You don't have you put Ritter in at the end of the season.
But year 3, you go out
He's
and spend that
made
money.
it. My thing is, you've lost games. This game was lost due to poor execution, not bad coaching.
Yeah,
You've lost games.
for the most
You've
part.
lost games to bad coaching. So to fire him for poor execution just doesn't sit well or strike well with me because it's like if you would have walked him out of the building after the Washington game, I don't think anybody would have had an issue. Like nobody would have had a word. Nobody would have. They would have just been like, "You had multiple bad fourth downs." So we came on here and talked about the multiple bad fourth down calls,
So,
the
but
uh
that's
the
also the
bad
game Ritter
scheme.
threw 3 picks.
Yeah,
So like,
and he was getting calls in
so
late and all that
I,
stuff.
I don't know if that. I don't know about firing him off
No,
for
but
that, but
my thing is, consensus. Ritter played bad that day, but consensus among all fans and even me and you on the pod, we talked about the fact that it was a bad coaching day, right? And have I been calling them the Redskins? I meant Commanders. My fault. Um, but had you fired him at that game? Because I remember having that conversation with you and telling you like, "Yo, you got to go, blase blase."
yeah, and I say he don't got to go ahead. He need to
You're
give it the
pot.
offense.
You're pot committed. You're pot committed once you keep him past that point. To fire him with 3 games left in the season, like even say he loses next week to the Colts, right?
Which was
You gonna fire him with
very
2 games
likely.
left in the season? Yeah, you gonna fire him with 2 games left in the season for what? My fear is that this turns into a Dan Quinn situation. Everybody knew at the end of 2018 you should have let Dan Quinn go. Everybody knew it. Everybody and their mama was like, "Yo," because I think we ended the season on like a 5 game losing streak, right? And everybody was just like, "Yeah, they had the Super Bowl run. They made the playoffs the next year. Uh, they missed the playoffs, and then that year they had just like a crap year, right?" And they were just like, granted that pick turned in that year turned into AJ Terrell, but regardless, hey, it's time. It's time. Dan Quinn is time, and we didn't let him go. And what happened next season? What happened the next season? Started 0-5, 4 very close losses and 1 blowout. Then you let him go, right? My thing is, don't put us in the same position with Arthur Smith, where we've lost 2 in a row. We're out of playoff contention. We're barreling toward a third straight 7-10 season. What more do you what more do you need there? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I feel like everybody's gonna make the excuses about, oh, he doesn't have a competent signal caller and XYZ, which, to anyone with layman's eyes, you can see. Like Ritter, I said he earned the season. His play up to this point has earned me. And at this point in time, it doesn't make any sense to go to Heineke. Let the man
Even
finish out
though
the
that is
season.
a conversation,
It's
it's
if
dumb.
he does make the switch, that's even more ammo to fire him. You feel me?
Quarterback
Like if you
mismanagement.
make that switch, it's complete mismanagement. So like if you make that move, that's even more ammo to fire you. It's no reason to not just let Ritter ride out the season.
Because
Your pop committed to him is done.
because the thing
My
is,
thing
there's no
is
reason to go back to Heineke because Heineke hasn't showed you that he's an upgrade over Ritter.
at all, at
Because I
all.
seen that stat
Now,
today and they said in Ritter's 520 dropbacks. He has 25 turnover worthy throws, and Heineke has what in his last 530 he has 35. So he has 10 more plays and very comparable snaps of where he put the ball in harm's way potentially.
They're the same player. They're the same player. In terms of, I think Ritter. I've always been a big proponent of talent will get you fired, right? Talent will get you fired. Production keeps like get you paid, but talent will get you fired, right? And Ritter has the upside. Like you see it
Yeah,
when he's outside the numbers throws, when he gets long strides, like, but just because you have the talent doesn't mean you can put it all together, doesn't mean you can play quarterback.
yeah.
And Ritter's starting like he's average. He's a 500 quarterback. He's going to give you as much turnover. He's going to give you as many touchdowns as he gives you picks. It's just who he is. You know what I'm saying? At this point in his career, that's not saying that like with some seasoning he can't be a serviceable backup or a bridge starter. But like rolling into a season with what you have invested on the offensive end and naming him your starter, he can't go in the next season as your starter.
See,
He's earned this season. In my mind, you've earned the right to finish out the season, but you cannot say in 2024, unquestionably, he's your
yeah,
starter.
you can't say it unquestionably. So here's something. Here's something I'm gonna say. Arthur Smith and Desmond Ritter are not a good fit. Like Arthur Smith's offense is not good for the strength that Desmond Ritter has. Um, it
Which is crazy because if you just look at his profile, he looks like Tannehill, who exceeded in that offense.
yeah, profile wise, but just in terms of the strength, it's just that it's not there. And like for offense that has not one, not two, but three players on offense selected in the top 10, you do not do a good job of scheming ways to get them the ball. I mean, Bijan, but that's easy because it's a runner. You can hand it off to him. And this past game, you did a poor job even doing that. Um, just it's.
But I
I
think, I
think
think,
Arthur
bro,
Smith is a fine coach, but I do think that he does need to let go of the offense and bring in some freshness. It didn't quite
because
work out
my
for
my
Dan
thing,
Quinn, but it does feel like the Dan Quinn situation all over again.
my thing is, bro, it's not just the three top 10 picks at the skill positions, right? You're smarter than that, you know it. But like most people, they're gonna just, oh, we've got three players in the top 10 skill positions. But like, bro, if you look at what this regime has done, you've invested a third round pick at the quarterback position. You've invested a second round pick at the left guard position. You spent major dollars in free agency on the
Defense.
right guard.
No,
You
we
you
didn't. Well,
spent
that's a resign. I don't count that as free agency.
and then your right tackle you resigned, right? Like and then on the flip side, you have so you've invested draft capital on the offensive end. On the defensive end, you've invested a majority of free agent dollars on a win now defense. On a win now defense with a team that can't score above our high water mark for this season
28.
was 28 points. We average 18 points a game. That is disgusting in modern
It
NFL
is,
football.
especially for
Averaging 18 points a game.
a quote unquote offensive genius, or a quarterback guru. All of these names that he had
You
coming in is
I'm telling you right now, no one would call for Arthur Smith's job if we were averaging 26 points a game and we were losing 26 to 28 every week. No one would if every game looked like the Cardinals game and we had this and our record was the exact same, but every game looked like the Cardinals game and we were 6-8, no one would call for Arthur Smith's job. No one would call for Arthur Smith's job.
yeah, no.
They would look at the defensive coordinator and they would probably be like, "Hey, we still probably need to upgrade a signal caller." But because your side of the ball looks so inept, people are like, bro, what are you doing? What is your use or point if you can't get the opposite side of the ball that you have no recompense with? You know what I'm saying? You hired a new defensive coordinator because you recognized it was a weakness. Nielsen looks amazing. I know he's probably regretting it because he's like, dang, maybe I put my cart with the wrong horse. You know what I'm saying? Because he looks like he knows what he's doing on defense. Granted, you got free agent dollars over there,
But he
whatever.
also has the underestimated part of the defense is Jeff Gray. Um, that's a very because it's more of a collaboration. Yeah, Nielsen gets the credit and title, but it's a big collaborative effort between him and Jeff Gray.
But the defensive side of the
Yeah,
ball, you don't deal with. You don't deal with, and that's the strength of the team. Your side of the ball is the issue.
you know what? I'm starting to think the Falcons might be cursed.
Man,
Hear me out.
I'm gonna
No,
tell
hear
you
me out.
straight up, bro.
Listen, because when we had a defensive head coach, offense was stupid. Now we got an offensive head coach. Where it go?
Well, none of those players are still on the team.
No, but still, we had all these defensive head coaches from Mike Smith to Dan Quinn. Those are two defensive guys. Offense was amazing. They could never get the defense right.
Well, so
So
here's the
now they're
thing:
gone.
their offensive coordinators. Kyle Shanahan is just like one of the best offensive minds
But
that
he
we've
was only here
seen in
for
a
two
long time.
years. So and his
Yeah.
first year wasn't that great.
No, well, he has a notoriously complex offense. Matt Ryan is one of the smarter QBs, and he struggled with it. He got it, and then won MVP, and never had a season close to that
Well,
again.
then he
So
did.
like,
He did. The nu-
we can digress. Point
the
is,
numbers support it.
in terms of win, you know what? I'm not doing this with you tonight. Let's stay on
Wins
track.
ain't only offense. The defense
Let's
regressed
let's stay on
tremendously.
track.
But
The point is, like, those offensive coordinators were good, and to me, once again, that is credence to fire somebody. If you can't get your side of the ball straight, look at Brandon Staley. Justin Herbert been throwing it out of the park, bro. Why did Brandon Staley get fired? Because no matter who you got on defense, your defense sucks. You can't get your side of the
so the
ball right.
thing is, that whole team was just underperforming because the offense was too.
You can't get your side of the ball right.
That whole team was
That's
underperforming.
usually when they that's usually when they let somebody go.
I mean, yeah,
If you're a specialist, no matter what side, like you could be offensive, you could be defensive. Chicago, they're talking about keeping their coach now. Why? That defense has had a whole turnaround.
I mean, they spent a whole lot of money.
Eberflus
I
has
would
had a
hope so.
whole yeah, but Eberflus has had a whole turnaround on that defense, and so now it looks like, hey, if we can get a competent offense in place, we know your side of the ball is good. That's really what it boils down to. It really boils down to the simple fact that, like, bro, you are an offensive coach, and the offense sucks. I really don't have no faith going into next week, but let's go ahead and look at next week versus the Colts.
All right, the coach about to whoop our ass. So let's go on to the next one.
Nah. So, uh, yeah, no, actually, right now the Colts really just
They put
they
hands
might
on
have
the
put the fire
Steelers.
seat. Yeah, they might put the fire up under Mike Tomlin. To be honest with you, um, they did everything they were supposed to do in terms of shutting down that offense.
The
They
offense shuts
I'm not
itself
gonna lie to
down.
you. Now, when I was trying to, you know what, I'm
No,
not even gonna dance on your
no.
grave
See,
with
that's
this
not
one.
the Kenny. That's not Kenny
But
Pickett slander. That's just the way the offense runs. That offense is Kenny Pickett didn't
I
even play.
I know he didn't
So
play. I know he
that
didn't play.
offense itself. The thing is, could you fire the guy? The playbook don't change. You still
But Canada, you know what? All right,
Canada's
cool.
gone, but it's
Point
still his
is,
playbook.
it's the same playbook. It's the same playbook. We look. So listen. When Pickett gets Tomlin fired next year, we can revisit that. So anyway, back to the Colts, right? Uh, the line opened at 4.5. I'm not gonna lie to you. This was the game I had circled as the game you could lose. It's at home, but even still, I just I think this game is going to be very telling on whether or not Arthur Smith still has the respect and locker room.
Um, I don't even think it's gonna be this game. It's gonna come down to that quarterback decision. If he go back to Taylor Heineke, it's wraps.
I feel like if he goes back to Heineke, you just they're like when they lose, go ahead and hey, big dog,
If he go
yeah,
back to
it's
Heineke and
time.
they still lose, because Heineke is 2-2 as a starter. So if he gets another start
Heineke, you,
and
it's the
he
same, it's
loses
the same
again,
guy, it's the same
bye
guy.
bye FedEx.
Like Heineke has been the same dude from jump every single time he's played. It's never been different, especially not for the Falcons. If anything, he's gotten progressively worse since his days with the Commanders. So like, don't
Well, no, he's not got worse. He's been the
don't
same
bill
guy.
him as no savior. Yeah, don't bill him as no savior. He's the exact same guy. And with Ritter, you at least get more on tape to see what he's going to be. He can't go into next season as the unquestioned
No,
starter.
bring in
But like,
some,
if you bring in somebody and he beats him out in camp, if you bring in somebody legit,
yeah.
you bring in somebody
You
legit, and
know,
he beats him out in camp,
this is
okay.
this is a little off topic, but I wouldn't mind like a Jacoby Brissett.
He looked really good. And when they were talking on the broadcast, they were like, I can't believe a lot of teams haven't traded for him. One of the things that's really gaining steam right now on mainstream media, and y'all heard it here. I really hope we do not trade for Justin Fields.
I don't want it either.
That's not to say that if he wasn't in on turf in a high powered offense, it might not look good. I'm just saying I haven't seen it, and I'm not really keen on giving up the draft capital necessary because I think he's shown enough that where earlier it would have been a five, two fours, now this is rapidly turning into a three and something,
It'll probably just be a three.
possibly a two
It
and
ain't gonna be no
something.
two. It'll be a three. Because the
Is
thing is
you
like,
get into a bidding war and dumb stuff happens. You get into a bidding war and dumb stuff
see
happens.
that.
But it's going to be more than one team
See,
that's looking
here's
for
the
Justin
thing though,
Field
right?
services.
Terry Fontenot show he's not gonna go into no bidding war with anything. He gonna give you his offer, and if you want to go, we can roll. If not, then that's fine.
But like you said last week, desperation makes for crazy stuff
It
to happen.
does, but
And
but
if we're having a conversation and the conversation between Blank and Smith is you get one more year, figure out this quarterback thing, like that could put you in a bad
it
position.
could,
That could make you take a swing you weren't going to take.
it could, but I don't know if Fields is that swing that
Because
you want to take because
giving a
Fields.
two for a DN, giving a two for a DN is very different than giving a two for a quarterback. You know that.
It is, but they still didn't do it because and the thing is they had opportunity to take for and they still turned it down. They had opportunity to trade for Trey Lance, they turned it down. They,
Trey Lance can't play.
he ain't really had a chance, so we don't know.
Trey Lance can't play.
He ain't had a chance. He's played like
Every single time you've seen him on a
he's
football
played
field, he
six
can't play.
games. We don't know if he can play.
Like I said, I want you on my jury, bro. But but like I completely understand like not wanting to get more than a conditional six for him. That makes perfect sense. Fields has shown he's got a little shit to him. You know what I'm
He can
saying?
run.
And he's shown enough that people are going to be tantalized by that talent. They're just going to think Chicago's stupid. Chicago wasn't able to get the most out of him. All right, let's put him in our system. So like it starts at I give you a four. Then by the end of the conversation, you're talking about multiple twos,
Oh
and it's
hell
like,
no,
yo,
they ain't
whoa,
doing
whoa,
that.
whoa, we've lost the shark on
Because
this.
the
But
thing is,
I would not be surprised if Fields moves for two and
I
something.
would because there's only probably a handful of teams that I actually be interested in Fields, and then Chicago don't hold any leverage. Because if you're taking a quarterback, you got to get Fields up before the other one get here. So
Yeah, but it's not like a Josh Rosen situation where you trade him for a bag of pennies.
they traded Josh Rosen
You know
for
what
a
I'm saying? And
second,
even that's what I'm saying.
but
Was it a
it was
second
a
to
second.
Miami? Whew. He had a terrible
Yeah,
year. He couldn't play a lick.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
And they
So you
immediately
don't
went to
think
go get
Fields will
two.
go for it too?
No, because times have changed. I think people are gonna look at that and be like, now, given Fields has been much better than Rosen was, but I still don't think Fields brings you much more than a third. Maybe a third, and if you resign him, maybe a conditional pick the following year.
Will he be going? You're not going to pick up his 5th year option.
That's what I said. If you
Uh,
resign him, kind of like how we did our deal with the Jags. It was like a fifth round last year, and then right now we're on pace to get a third if they resign it. If we resign, we get a second. But you incentivize that pick.
something something that I saw that the Packers did, I think, could become a lot more
Are
standard
you talking
with a
about like
lot of
with
these
the
quarterbacks
trade the quarterback
with
and if
Love
you talking about just giving him the 1 year extension?
with his
Yeah,
contract.
because
Yeah,
it's
with his
essentially
contract where you
the 5th year thing, but they just kind of split it to where the cap hit lower.
spread it out. Yeah, and I think that's going to be. I think that's going to be the wave going forward on a lot of those first round
It
picks
could be,
at
but
quarterback.
I think it's probably a slightly different situation given that this is his first year, and they're probably like, well, we don't really want to give you the full 5th year option because the quarterback that's
Well,
more established doesn't have any reason to take that.
no. So here's where we're operating in a world right now where Carolina is so bad that the Bears have the first pick overall.
Yeah.
In reality, the Bears have anywhere from the fifth and depending on their game with us, the 11th pick, right? In that situation, you wouldn't be getting a significant upgrade at quarterback for like in this draft, right? So you would have to make a decision on the 5th year option this coming offseason. Fields hasn't been so bad with this coaching staff that you wouldn't want to keep him around, but you just have the option for the number one overall pick, which is why you're accelerating moving on. In a normal situation, you would be like, I don't necessarily want to pick up your 5th year option, but just riding you out in a lame duck year doesn't benefit anybody.
Mm.
Putting you on a situation where I take your 5th year option and spread it out over 3 years, basically make that last year a dead year, have a lower cap number.
Over three. What are you talking about? Over 3 years?
That's what Love did.
No, it's just a
So
1 year deal.
basically, it's a 1 year extension. If you look at
It's just
how his cap
it's
amortizes,
just a 1 year
it's
deal, and
over
they
three
just
years.
that's not what I saw. But
Look, if you look at how it amortizes out, that's what makes the cap hit so low.
I thought they just gave him some cash up front and just lowered the cap hit.
It's a way to do it. They're paying funny money basically, right? The Saints are really good at it.
Mm.
But basically it's like paying on a credit card, right? But it makes for a really low cap hit. Makes for a really low cap hit in that situation. I feel like that's going to be the wave going toward a lot of these newer quarterbacks.
But the thing is, a lot of them quarterbacks don't really have any. Like Love did that because he didn't hold no leverage.
He never played. He
Exactly,
never
but
played,
the
right?
quarterbacks that have played, they hold more leverage, and they have no reason to take that.
I can't imagine Fields
Well,
holds
Fields don't probably don't.
a
Well,
vast
Fields don't
amount.
hold the leverage, but I'm talking about like maybe a quarterback
Yeah.
like Trevor Lawrence or C.J. Stroud when his time comes. Like he's not going to be he.
Oh, CJ getting the bag. CJ getting see it doesn't apply to quarterbacks that you know you're gonna like fuck picking up their 5th year option. You trying to make their 5th year option part of their extension. You know what I'm saying? So like you're not overly worried about those guys. It's more so the fringe guys where you're not necessarily sure if you can be better, if you can get better,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, but you still got to get them to agree to it. So, and it depends on their
So
agents and other various things. But yeah.
so we overall, I just think that the Colts may be a win, maybe a loss. I don't really think the game itself matters too much because we're fans of fans. We're looking at we need everything else to fall else around us for us to get in. And so at this point in time, you want to make sure he hasn't lost the locker room, right? Especially if you're considering bringing him back next season. You want to make sure he's making the right decision at quarterback. Because like switching to Heineke is just you can't do it. And then you just hope for the best. You know, just hope for the best overall. All right. So let's check out what's going on in division. As of right now, you got the Bucks 7-7. They put the beat down on the Packers. They're up next versus the Jags.
I told you.
Hopefully that's a loss.
I told you.
Hopefully that's a loss. Bro, the Packers were in that game.
I told you. I
Packers were in
told you
that
the
game.
Bucks was gonna win.
Yeah, you said they were going to win. You also said they're going to win out. Do I think they're going to win out? No.
After they beat the Jags, I don't see no one stopping them.
Hey, we just lost to the Panthers. They could lose to the Panthers.
They
Point
ain't
is,
us.
whatever.
They got
As of
they
right
got
now,
somewhat competent quarterback play and a decent
as of
offensive
right now,
coordinator.
7-7. They're next up versus the Jazz. You got the Saints, 7-7. They just beat the Giants. They're next up versus the Rams. That's going to be a huge game. Rams are 7-7, so that's going to
Oh,
decide a
that's the
playoff
Bucks
spot.
division.
It looks like it. Um, we're 6-8. We're our loss versus the Panthers. Next up the Colts. The Panthers 2-12. They're next up versus the Packers. All that goes into place. This is what I mean by us being fans of fans. So we're in two separate spots right now, right? So if you look at the playoff seeding, we're sitting at 10,
You know something crazy?
right?
I don't
What?
mean to cut you off here, but I seen something. In a wild world, we're in a spot to where we can either somehow get into the playoffs or end up with the number 2 pick.
Bro, that is literally what I have wrote down. That's what I have wrote down. That's what I mean by like, yo, we fan of a fan, bro. Like we are right in the middle of where like this so we can't get as high as number
No,
two. The
it's
highest we can get
possible.
is number
It's
5.
possible we can get the number 2. But
The
a whole
Patriots
lot would
and
have
the
to go. A
Commanders,
whole lot would have to go our way, but it's possible. But it's
which is
very
why we're
unlikely.
fans of fans. Which is why we're fans of fans. It's not as unlikely as you think. The only one that's super unlikely is the Pats winning out.
Our
So,
most likely situation is a 5. Two.
but, but because guess who's at 4-5,
Who?
or guess who's at 3-4?
Who?
The Cardinals and the Commanders. Both teams we lost to. So if we end with the same record, we go all the way up to 3. So this is what I mean by like we're fans of fans, right? So I wanted to start positively, right? So playoffs, right? Got the Niners, Eagles just lost. Yeah, we're recording late, judges, whatever. So you got 49ers, Cowboys, Lions, Bucks. Then you got Eagles at 5, Vikings at 6, and then Rams at 7 right now, right? You got the Saints at 8, 7-7. You got the Seahawks at 9, 7-7. Then you got us and the Bears, or no, us and the Packers at 6-8, right? So went out at 9-8. That would give us a win versus the Saints, and it would give us another win versus the Bears. But we would need that win versus the Saints would catapult us. We would need the Seahawks to lose 2 more games, which is possible. Right? We need Seahawks to lose 2 more games, but they also play the Rams. So one of those teams are going to knock each other out. The Rams also play the Saints. So what we would need in that situation, we would want the Rams to beat the Saints. No, we would want the Saints to beat the Rams, and then we want to beat the Saints. That's what we would want in that situation. That would slide us into the 7 spot, and we still have an outside shot to win the division at 9-8 if the Bucks go 1-2 down the stretch.
You think we going 3-0?
No, I'm telling you, fans of fans,
Hey,
right?
I'm just saying.
If we went out, go 3-0, the Bucks would have to go 1-2 over this stretch. One of those wins would have to be AFC wins. So we would want them to beat the Jags and then lose their next 2,
They
right?
ain't losing to the Panthers.
They're not. But I'm just saying. I'm just saying in general, we would want them to beat the Jags and then lose their next 2. The Vikings, I do think the Vikings are going to fall out of it, but out of their next 3, we want the Vikings to go 0-3 because we don't have a tiebreaker against them, and then we want the Saints to beat the Rams, us to beat the Saints, and then the Seahawks beating the Rams kind of helps, but what's better is if the Seahawks lose a game and then beat the Rams. There's a lot that has to happen, but it starts with we would have to win 3 games in a row to even have an outside chance of being in because we own no tiebreakers
Nada.
as of right now.
Nada.
None. Right? Oh, well, we own one.
Green Bay.
The Packers. Yeah, who they're beneath us. Now that's being super optimistic. Hope we could be in the 4 slot, but reasonably we probably be in the 7 spot. Go to either Philly or Dallas and get the brakes beat off of us
Now,
in the
the
first round.
most realistic situation that's probably most likely to happen, we end up with probably like the eighth pick again.
No, so here's where I get upset, right? So the current draft order, right? Bears, Pats, Cards, Commanders, Bears, Jets, Giants, Chargers, Titans,
We at
us,
10, right?
Packers, Raiders, Packers, Raiders,
We at
Seahawks,
10, right?
right? We're at 10. Now, we lost first to Titans, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if the Titans get another win, that moves us up to 9. Um, if the Jets or Giants get another win, not the Jets or Giants, if the Giants get another win, they would have a better NFC record than us
Same
because
thing.
I think all 3 of their opponents left are NFC
Yeah.
opponents. So they would have a better NFC record than us. So that moves us up to 6, right? The Jets might not win another game. So we might be stuck at 6. But we play the Bears. If we go 0-3 down the stretch and lose to the Bears will be above us, right? So the Jets will move to 5, or the Jets will move to, yeah, Jets will move to 5, we'll move to 6. If the Jets win one more game, the Commanders win 2 more, and the Cardinals win out, we would jump all the way to 3. We would jump all the way to the 3rd pick in the draft. If we lose out, the Giants win another one, the Titans win another one, the Commanders and Cards win out.
Now, if that,
We can't get the second pick because
yeah, right.
the Patriots they're 3-11. There's no world in which the Patriots are going to win out, and even if they do, they have a worse conference record than we do, even with the losses that we have.
Now, if this crazy scenario ended up happening, I think Arthur Smith would have to be gone. And I would prefer him to be gone because I wouldn't want him getting his hands on a new young quarterback.
So here's my thing: with the 3rd pick, are you sure you're going to get a
You could
quarterback?
probably trade. You could probably make a little trade, give up a little next year pick or something just to swap, just to ensure you get one of the two.
So here's
Or
my
you
thing:
trade
if
back a
I'm
couple
in,
picks and get Jalen Daniels. But I don't really like him. But
I'm not a huge Jaden
I'm not
Daniels
either.
fan, to
But
be honest with you.
he's gaining
No, if
steam.
I'm at 3, if I'm at 3,
You going
if the
Super Marv?
Bears aren't, no, 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 no. If I'm at 3, I'm getting greedy. Like I don't want to trade with the Patriots. I would I would see I would at least entertain what are the Bears looking for Kyler, right? Because they have a quarterback in place. You know what I'm saying? If they convince themselves that they can run it back with Justin Fields, would they be willing to part for the 3rd pick overall, a number 1 next year, a 3 this year,
Okay.
maybe a 4 or
See,
something?
here's the thing though. I think this largely depends on who.
You can't do it from pick 7.
No, that's what I'm saying for three. But this is what I'm saying though. Like I think a lot of this largely depends on who, what the offense is. Is Arthur Smith still here? Do we have a different offensive coordinator? Because
No, 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 no. Because if we had the 3rd pick, Arthur's
yeah,
gone. That's a 6-11
yeah.
season.
So
It's over.
so
Yeah.
then it comes down to what's the offense. Is it an offense that needs like because trading up to one is just like because Caleb's probably the most likely number one, but I don't. He may not be the best number one for everyone because I think we spoken on this how Caleb and Drake May are very good at what they do, but they're very different. Drake May's your in stretcher guy. Caleb's your play
Now
after the play
I'm
guy.
not gonna lie to you. We haven't delved into really into our draft process like that. I hated how Drake May ended the season. It looked
I
absolutely
mean, yeah, but
terrible
they're gonna go
down
with
the
the full
stretch to
body
end the
work
season.
though. So there's that.
Yeah, yeah. So and like I said, I feel like we're going to be in the we're going to be in the hunt for a quarterback. So I'm gonna look at all these guys. I'm gonna devote time to it or whatever. I'm just saying at a glance, I hated how he ended the season. Um, Michael Penix, we talked about age. Bo Nix, we talked about age, and I'm staking my flag right now. I think Bo Nix is going to be a terrible NFL quarterback. If you draft him in the first two
And
rounds, you're
Penix is
stupid.
going to be a great
Um,
backup.
I think Penix will end up a really Brissett type of career, but that's not something you draft in the top
No,
15.
he's going
You know what I'm
to, yeah.
saying? Like the career that Brissett has, you're probably going to get from Penix, which is a successful career, but you don't. It's successful because Brissett was
Yeah.
drafted in the third round. You know
But
what
it's
I'm
just because
saying?
he's
Like,
still here after all them years.
yeah, yeah. No, yeah, he's still here, but he was drafted in the
Yeah,
third
so,
round. So like the fact that you got that out of him is amazing. Like
but,
if Brissett was drafted in the top 15, we'd be looking at him like he's EJ Manuel. You know what I'm
but
saying? Like,
these quarterbacks often get pushed up draft boards. So
and everybody's falling in love with Jaden Daniels, and I'm just like,
I don't. I'm
um,
not the biggest
I'm not a
fan,
huge
but
fan. Yeah,
I might need to do a little more film, but like just based on what I've seen, like he's exciting to watch. It's just I don't know if his skill set translates to the NFL that well.
now I will be completely honest with you. In the 4 games he played, Richardson looked amazing, and I couldn't tell you that was in him at Florida.
Um, well,
I couldn't tell you.
I could
I
because he didn't
bro,
really do
I thought
anything
he
outside of like the realm of what he's done. Um, he-
no like the Colts haven't asked him to sit in the pocket and diagnose defenses at a high level all day. They really just if it ain't there, take off. And he's bigger and stronger than everybody right
yeah,
now, but he's getting concussed, right? But like if you would have told me that same level of dominance physically that he had at Florida, he was going to have in the NFL, I'd have been like, boy, hey, give me some of what you smoking. You know what I'm
so,
saying? Like he looked good in the 4 games he played.
so yeah, he played 4 games. He didn't finish 2 of the 4.
Mm-hmm.
One was a concussion. The other one was the season-ending shoulder injury. Um, yeah, I like that. But with Jaden, he's built more like Desmond Ritter, very slight
No,
frame.
no, he's slight of frame, but I'm saying it's not like I'm the end all say all be
Yeah.
all on quarterbacks. Like there's times where I just
Oh
miss it.
no,
You know
it's
what I'm
no.
saying?
See, this,
Like,
I'm not saying that Jaden won't be good. It's just he's not my cup of tea.
yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah,
I don't see it.
like he's
And like,
talented. I give him time to, but
and
I don't.
this is a complete side note. This is a complete
There's no
side note.
exact science in this.
If if y'all see me and y'all try to throw a take that I had up in my face, I want you to know something sincerely from the bottom of my heart. I do not care. Like I'm I don't. Like I say what I mean at the time I say it with bass because I mean it when I say it. I'm entitled to change my opinion. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
I could be dead wrong. There's guys where I'm like, oh, he can't play a lick. Turns out to be an all pro.
right.
There's dudes I'd be like, oh, he's gonna be the best. Bruh, I like Trent Richardson. I liked Trent Richardson. Did I think he was gonna be like a all timer? No. But and did I think 3 was a little high? Yes. But I liked him. You know what I'm
He's
saying?
supposed to run it. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Trent
Oh
Richardson.
no, no,
I liked
no.
him.
Cause we were just talking about Anthony. I'm just like, are you mixing up names? Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah. I like Trent Richardson. Joe Burrow thought he was completely over it. I thought he was in a video game offense and it wasn't going to translate. Those two of my biggest misses right there. But guess what? There's a lot. So I had some strikeouts, but guess what? I got a lot of singles, doubles, and triples. I told y'all at the beginning of this season, Ritter is average, and I done seen that man 100 times. And guess what he's turned out to be? Average, bro. If you take out the 2 starts that Heineke had, what is our record? 6-6. It's just he's a 50. It is what it is, bro. So like you trying to throw a take that I had in my face, like bro, I'm gonna say it and I'm gonna keep saying it with chest. And I'm, not even toot my own horn. I'm probably gonna be right a lot more than I'm gonna be wrong. So like,
You know,
yeah, what it is.
just for the sake of pushing agendas, I want nothing more than for Kenny Pickett to just ball the fuck out next year, just so I could throw it in your face.
I know you want it. I know you want it, and guess
It's
what?
gonna happen.
It's not gonna
It's
happen,
gonna happen.
bro. It's not gonna happen,
When he has his breakout game next year, I'm gonna call you.
bro. He's gonna have one game next year where he throws for like 240 and two touchdowns because Pickens is going bananas. Pickens is gonna score on a reverse that game. And you're gonna come in here and be like, Kenny Pickett scored 3 touchdowns, and be like, well, one of those was a reverse. And you can be like, even still, he had a great game. And the Steelers are gonna be riding high. They're gonna be like 7-1 at that point. And then we're gonna have a conversation at the end of the season when they're 9-8. And I'm gonna be like, this is why he's trash.
Nah,
And he's gonna get Mike Tomlin fired, be it this year or next year. And but that's neither here nor there.
it's not.
The point is, the point is, where we are right now, we're at a crossroads. It's really a divide on where you want to go, where you want to go as a team. Do you want to try to make this push for the playoffs? I think we're going to get drugged if we go to Philly or Dallas.
No,
Whoever wins that division, we're going to
we
get
wouldn't be going.
drugged.
Oh, I think it's gonna be Dallas that's gonna win ultimately.
Yeah, like we're going to get drugged. So I see no reason or point in trying to push to go toward the playoffs. I don't think you tank or bottom out. And so, with that being the case, like you said, the most likely option is we end up from a pick between 8 and 12. And like, who does that benefit? You want Kirk Cousins coming off an Achilles? You want, because like, you're not drafting a
No,
quarterback
no,
there. You want Kirk Cousins coming off an Achilles. You want Tannehill after he's been benched.
but
You
I think
want,
at that point it just depends on who the coach is at that point. A,
I
a,
think, here's
a
the
coach
thing.
that I
If they
wouldn't
go,
mind. That boy up in Detroit, Mr. Ben Johnson.
so here's my thinking on that, right? Because I did want to, we'll cut City Talk out just a little bit. There's just one thing we want to talk about in there, but this kind of got into what I want to talk to you about in City Talk, where it's like, what what do you think would make that coordinator specifically any different than the offensive minded coordinator that you already have?
Um,
So here's my thing. If we want to make an upgrade from Arthur Smith, and I usually I'm against retreads, but I feel like if you want to upgrade from the position coach turned coordinator turned head coach, you need to go get a former head coach. I don't think Jim Harbaugh steps foot in Atlanta ever,
I don't know.
right? I if the Steelers are dumb enough to let Mike Tomlin go, I don't think he looks as Atlanta as a job. Belichick don't think he looks as Atlanta as a job. But I'm gonna throw a name at you and hear me out. Brian Flores. Brian Flores
See,
already has head coaching
here's the
experience.
thing. He fucked us up when he sued the NFL. He's probably never going to be more than a coordinator due
Here's
to
the
the
thing.
politics of it.
So he had the situation with the NFL, right? Position coach for the Steelers, got another coordinator job.
Yeah, that's not the head coach though.
It's not a head coach. The fact that he was able to come back and be a coordinator lends me to the credence it's possible.
It
Let
won't
me
be
throw another
possible
name
this
at
year
you.
or next year.
Let me throw another name at you because
They're going to give him the Airbnb
and
treatment.
it's not that I want to touch the defense because I feel like the defense has been the bright spot. Um, but Amaretta up there in Cincinnati, or
They say he's hard to work with, isn't he?
uh, yeah, but I think that his squad's always got some. They got they ballers. They ballers. He consistently puts out a good product every year, and I feel like having a coach that fully understands complementary football would be extremely helpful. Um, and then I had one more name. I forgot. Regardless, I just don't think that going from quote unquote offensive mastermind to quote unquote offensive mastermind does a lot unless you're gonna fully overhaul it, right? So say we do get Ben Johnson. I want him with a young quarterback. But that means now I'm overdrafting somebody.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
you could. There's more than one way to skin a cat. Because the thing is, it's not about. Because the thing you don't just because you got the eighth pick when you got to take a quarterback at 8. You could trade back. You could trade up back into into the later part of the first round if there's a guy you like. Like you don't have to take the guy at 8. You could still because and Terry Fontenot has shown that he's not gonna. He's gonna take the best player that he thinks is on the board.
Who says no, 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 no? I think if they fire Arthur, Terry
Yeah, Terry
stays.
stays.
Pretty sure if they fire, I'm pretty sure Terry
Terry,
stays because
Terry,
Terry's had a run.
because the thing
Terry's
is,
had a run.
because the thing is just like this. It's not Terry's fault because Terry has shown he's a great a great grocery shopper. The cook just fucking the food
Yeah,
up.
even yo, what boy, you putting pepper in there, you putting Cajun seasoning, like nah, you just throwing it in there. Hey, you went to put it in, and the top came off, and you just kept stirring. You was
Yeah,
like, nah, it'll be good.
basically.
They'll like the seasoning. Like, nah,
Like
bro.
Terry, like I bought you all this season and you only using salt and pepper.
Hey,
Spice this shit
the
up.
last thing I want, the last thing I wanted to talk about, city talk. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Um, you know me, man. I'm a basketball fan, right? Like, I love basketball. I when we get into our basketball pods, we're gonna have our debates. We're gonna go back and forth and whatnot. But one of the things that I firmly believe is that Adam Silver is killing the NBA, right? Like he is actively killing the NBA in a lot of ways. And one of the ways that you see that kind of brought to fruition is the NFL's all-out attack on Christmas Day, right? So Christmas Day was always seen as the unofficial start of the NBA season,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like to have a Christmas Day game used to like mean something. Like Kobe played so many days on Christmas, Jordan played so many days on Christmas. Like Christmas Day was the day, was the game.
Yeah.
Christmas fell on Saturday. NFL played games. Christmas fell on Sunday. NFL played games. Christmas falls on Monday. The NFL's playing games. So last 3 years, they've had Christmas Day games, right? And you've been able to fall into the NFL schedule per se for the Christmas Day games. I am super excited to see what happens as Christmas starts falling during the week because I don't think the NFL lets up. I think they are vicious and money hungry and they want every bit of the consumer's time and money and they want to steal eyeballs from a league that they consider weak. And so I'm very interested into seeing how these Christmas Day game traditions keep going with the NFL.
That is gonna be interesting to see. I mean, Mondays are doable, but no, Tuesday and Wednesday that'll be something to see because I think you might
So
get
remember
some
during the
pushback.
pandemic season, we played games on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah,
And remember, the NFL is trying to add this international week, this international thing going on, right? To where each team on a rotating schedule has one home game um, in an international stadium. I could definitely see a way in a 3 week span in which you give a team an international game, a bye, and then playing on a random ass day, so you could fit the Christmas Day schedule in.
I mean, I can see it.
And if we're saying that the because you got to think if a team plays on Sunday and then they have a Saturday game, what's like if a team plays on Sunday, they can have a Thursday night game. So like if Christmas falls on a Friday, I can put it on if Christmas falls on a Thursday, I just regular Thursday night game. And it's the same week following for the next schedule. Same could be said as Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, right?
Yeah,
If Christmas falls on a Monday, it's a Monday night game. Christmas falls on a Tuesday, if I give you a Tuesday game, I just got to make sure you play Sunday or the following Monday. If I give you a Wednesday game, I just got to make sure you play the following Monday or you have a bye week.
But at this point in the year, ain't no bye weeks. The bye weeks is over with at this point.
Bye weeks are over at this point in the year. So I could give you a Wednesday game and I can give you a Thursday the following week.
Yeah,
Wednesday could be the start of the week.
that's still rough because the players are going.
Wednesday's the only one I think is kind of hard, but
Tuesday's rough too because typically Tuesday is the players' day off.
you would have had from the previous Sunday
No,
to
but like
Tuesday off.
Tuesday's like the universal day off.
Hey,
And
niggas get called in, bro. Niggas get
if
called
someone
in.
gonna try to take you the day off you done had every week for the past X amount of years, you gonna be pissed off.
Which I get. I
I
just
don't think the
think
players gonna go for that one.
if you bill it as a primetime game, you bill it as a primetime game.
Something,
Because here's
listen,
my thing. Here's what I
I
know.
know a couple players they don't care about that shit.
No, here's what I know. Nobody gets more money and decides to go backwards.
Yeah, but the thing
No one gets more money and decides to go
the
backwards.
NFL
I
player
think they
unit
are
ain't
putting
going.
an all out assault.
They can,
They're putting an all
but
out assault on playing these games on these big days. Because think about we had a Black Friday game this year.
yeah, that's Friday though.
Played on a Friday, right? Played on a Friday. We've had we had a triple header on a Saturday. I don't think I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't think they give a damn about playing a game on any day of the week if they feel like they can get eyeballs on it.
So next year Christmas is on a Wednesday. It's not gonna happen.
It'd be hard. It'd be hard.
Because the thing is it's a like it's that's a lot. That's asking a whole lot because you want them to play Sunday.
Hey, we'll see.
You want them
We'll see the
because
schedule.
basically you want them to play a game on Sunday and then all right, yeah, you playing Wednesday.
I think the week before they'd have them play on Saturday.
No, that's still a ridiculous turnaround.
It's the same as playing on Sunday and Thursday.
That's crazy.
It's the exact same as playing
The
Sunday to
thing is,
Thursday.
you fucking the whole thing. They're not going. The Wednesday thing ain't gonna work. Wednesday, Tuesday ain't gonna work. It
Nah,
could be Monday.
we'll see when they put the
It could
schedule
be
out.
Monday, Thursday, Saturday. You got all of the days. That Tuesday, Wednesday, I think that's dead.
We'll see when they put the schedule out next year. All right, you guys. I feel like we did great on time this time, bro. Like we did amazing.
Yeah.
All right, man. This is me, your boy Q
Your boy
City.
Taj Bravado.
We out.
Peace.
All right, bro. Yeah, nah. I feel like we did good. We did good. All right, I'm about to take my ass to bed because I'm tired of shit.